Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got a question about becoming a software developer without a degree. How do you become a software developer without a degree? This is a pretty common question. I get this question quite a bit. So I'm going to try to answer it here. I've done some videos on becoming or beginning software development. There's a playlist here that you can check out. I've done some different videos and stuff like that. So I've sort of covered some of this, but I want to kind of give you the step-by-step guide of what would my advice or recommendation be if you wanted to know how to become a software developer without a degree. So the first thing that I would do if I were you, in fact, that I did do, because I did become a software developer without a degree, right? When I first started my career, and you can watch the video here where I talk about my career. Right now it's a 2-part series, but it'll probably be a 3 or 4-part series, or it might even go on beyond that. But I talk about how I started out, and I didn't know all the answers, and I still don't know all the answers, but I screwed up a lot. But some of the things I did correct was that I learned how to learn on my own, and I developed my skills. And so, the most important thing that you're going to be able to do, that you need to do if you're a developer that doesn't have a degree, is to prove that you know what you're doing and you can do it. Because the degree sort of gives someone confidence that you probably learned what you're supposed to learn, or you did something, you at least completed something, so you should have that knowledge. Some people rely on that a little bit too much. I think a lot of people do. But the key thing that an employer is trying to figure out when they hire you is whether or not you can actually write code. You wouldn't believe how many developers apply for jobs and they can't actually write code. I've given developers tests, asked them to write on a whiteboard or to solve a simple problem, and they can't do it, or they can't answer simple questions about the programming language they're supposedly an expert in. That sucks. That should not be you. So how do you prove this? Well, one of the best ways to do this is to have some existing work that you can show. So if you're a software developer, right, you should have some code that you can show. You should have some applications that you built, especially today. Today, any developer can create a web application and get it up on the internet, get it hosted in the cloud or on a server, and it could be simple or whatever, or it could be complicated, but you should be able to do that. And if you don't have that in your portfolio, that's a problem. You can also today create a mobile application. It's so simple to create an Android or an iOS application, or Windows Phone application. Just do it. Have at least 1 or 2 of those. And if you've created them yourself and you've created them for you, you can make some money off of it, selling it, first of all. But second of all, you're going to own the source code, so you can show that at an interview. You can say, look, I built this app, I deployed it, I got it running, this is the code that I used to do it. I can write code, right? Now they might say, well, how do we know that you wrote this code? But I guarantee if you've written like 4 or 5 apps, that's going to be pretty apparent. So that's where I would start, honestly, is having something to show, having something that's built. Specialize, of course. Pick a specific technology and go with that, become an expert in that technology. I talk about specialization in, I think I've got a playlist or at least a few videos here that you can check out. That's going to be important. If you're having trouble figuring out how to learn quickly, I've got a course here on 10 steps to learn anything quickly that can help you, if you want that. But the key thing is that you have the ability to demonstrate your ability, that you can actually code. Another great way to do that, I'll tell you about I've got a free blogging course you can sign up here that is going to teach you how to create a blog. And the reason why you want to create a blog is because that gives you a lot of credibility, right? If you say you're an expert in some technology and you've written 50 blog posts on the topic, and especially if that blog becomes popular, even if it doesn't become popular, even if it's just 50 blog posts that you have there, and you go into an interview, you don't have your degree, but you say, hey, look, here's my blog, and the interviewer cares, and they read your blog, and they see what you've written, and they say, well, this guy or this gal really knows his or her stuff. Right? That's going to help you a lot. That's going to help you to overcome that degree, right? It's better than having a degree because it's proof, and it shows how you think, and that you can teach others. One extremely valuable asset for a developer is the ability to teach other people, to improve their ability on the team. I would much rather hire a developer that's maybe a little bit less proficient, but is really good at teaching others what he's learning, and is learning a lot and sharing that knowledge, because that person is going to make the whole team better. So those are some important things that I would say if you want to get it, And then the other thing I would say is that you need some connections, right? Again, this applies for anyone, but especially for someone without a degree. When I got I got a job at HP without a degree. You need a degree to get a job at HP. But how did I do it? Well, I had connections. I'd been working at HP as a contractor. I knew a lot of people there. I demonstrated my ability to them. I'd help them often with their problems. And so I had a referral. Someone was able to vouch for me and say, hey, John knows what he's doing. He's helped me a lot. We should hire him on. So definitely try and build those relationships. And what I always say about networking is you have to start doing it before you need it. You can't just pluck from the network tree. You have to plant the network tree and wait for it to grow, and it takes some time. And you do that by giving people value first. You don't take from the tree. You give first. If you want to plant a tree, you can't just pluck the fruit off the tree, right? First you have to give. You have to give water, you have to give soil, you have to give sunlight, right? You have to give nurture and care, and then that tree will grow strong and you can benefit from it. But if you just try to take from the tree from the very beginning, you're gonna have a problem, right? So that's really the key thing, is show that you have your own education. Some other alternatives for you if you don't want to get a degree, but you're going to spend some money, is a code camp. Those are good. I did a video on code camps. You can check it out here. Another option is I'm going to say it wrong. Udacity, is it? I think it's Udacity. I think I said Udacity in my video. Anyway, you can check out that. That's one of my more popular videos. But there's a lot of opportunities for online learning. Of course, Pluralsight. I have 55 courses on Pluralsight. You can check out my courses there to learn on your own and to get some kind of accreditation for the work that you've done. There's a bunch of options today. So you don't need to get a degree, but if you're not going to get a degree, you better have some ability, some way to show that you know what you're doing, that you know what you're talking about, that you can actually code, and you should really hit multiple angles. You should have a portfolio. You should have multiple apps that you've created, a specialization. You should also have some kind of credibility that shows that you've learned something, that you've taken some online courses or done something to show that or certifications even could help. And then you should have connections. You should know people and have made connections so that you're not just passing a cold resume without a degree on it. Those are going to get rejected more often. But if you get a personal referral, you got a friend at a company or someone you know or someone that can vouch for you, and they hand in your resume, not having the degree is not going to be as big of a deal anymore. So, again, I believe you can do it either way. I'm a big supporter of. I don't really like the school system. I don't like traditional education. You know me, but it definitely can create some obstacles if you don't have that degree, unless you do some of the things I'm telling you here. So if you got some suggestions, some other things to do, if you've been able to be successful without a degree, let me know. Leave a comment below. Give some helpful advice to others who may be seeking it. And if you like these videos, if you like this channel, subscribe. Take care.